How you doing, everyone? Novabug here, and a little one, a little waffle, I think, because I have been pondering something recently, and I think, I don't know, I'd like to know what you think in the comments, to be honest, about this, about the current generation of consoles, the 8th gen, and basically the question, well, it's not really a question, I suppose, it's a discussion opener. Would be to say that is it already over? Are we done already? I don't mean that in a there's not going to be games coming out for the three major platforms, and of course maybe a possible 9th gen system on its way in late 2016, early 2017 in the Nintendo NX, codename NX. But we don't know much about that, so, you know, I've made it clear that I'm not going to talk about the NX much, because there's not really a lot of details available, concrete proof. We've heard bits and pieces, we've heard rumours, but that's all they are at the moment. Nothing's proven, nothing's concrete, and nothing's really known exactly what the NX is going to be about. So we'll talk about that another day. I want to talk about the Wii U, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And where they are currently in sales-wise, popularity-wise, game library, that kind of thing. And it strikes me now, given one console's domination, this one here, if you can see it, I mean, it's, I've never seen a console dominate so much in its early years, specifically. I mean, even the Wii in the previous generation, even though it outright won the 7th generation, you know, it was all based off the casual gamer thing, so it was gimmick that sold that. It's the reason why it's was the best-selling console of that era. You know, the PlayStation 4 doesn't really use any gimmicks. You know, Microsoft found that to their peril when they tried to put loads of gimmicks on the Xbox One, and you know, it didn't sell well straight off the bat, did it? I think the same sort of goes for the Wii U as well. You could argue that the gamepad is a gimmick, but the reason why the Wii U hasn't sold is a different reason anyway. And when I say hasn't sold, I mean, you know, I'm not a person who judges a system by its sales. I'm not. I really am not. I judge a system by its quality and its game library, and that's something what everyone should do. I mean, so many people make such a big deal out of sales figures. You know, the Wii is a great example, really, of that. Sales figures don't really represent the quality of the system. There was so much shovelware and crap on the Wii. That doesn't reflect its quality. I mean, it's a good system. I like the Wii. I do. I like the Wii U more. A lot more. I think a lot of gamers have said this, that they didn't like the Wii because of its casual influence. But it's without the gimmicks. The PlayStation, Sony have corrected the mistakes they made from the PlayStation 3. And they knocked it out of the park straight away, and they seem to be continually knocking it out of the park. And I know people are going to gripe about certain things like the PS2 back compatibility and other little glitches here and there along the way on their marketing side and their policies. But overall, you know, 30.3 million sales, this is as of end of November this year, doesn't lie. It doesn't lie at all. And you've got the game library for it now is getting more and more expansive, and only to be really stapled probably in the next coming years by a certain remake, you know, exclusive to the PlayStation. I can't see it being overtaken by the Xbox One. I cannot see it happening. You know, you could, what can you blame on that? Can you say that it was Microsoft's mistakes when they released the Xbox One? Because the Xbox One now is a very, very, very capable machine. A lot of people really, really love it now, and it is catching up, but not quick enough, and I don't think it ever will. So this is my point. From a sales perspective, is the 8th gen done? Has the war been won already? Has there even been a war in this case? Because of the dominance of the PlayStation 4. You know, it's the Xbox One's currently, I think, 17.2 or 17.1 million sales so far, which is a massive improvement of its first year. And this is a 2-year time frame for these two consoles. The Wii U, yes, we know it's been out for 3 years, and it's still only managed to not even touch 12 million. It's 11.2 million, I think, now. If it gets to 14 million, by the end of its run, which I suppose would be around about another year and a half for Wii U, then, you know, I think it's done all right. You know, considering Nintendo's complete screw up on its marketing at the beginning, I think it's done all right. And to be honest, like I said before, I don't judge systems on their sales, I judge them on the quality. I haven't played an Xbox One, so I can't talk about it too much fairly. I'm certainly not going to criticise it at all. You won't find me criticising things when I haven't played them. And I think people that do criticise things, especially fanboys, when they haven't played them or played enough of them, I think they're full of shit, to be honest. Because how can you formulate an opinion on something when you actually haven't experienced it? You know, that's just total hypocrisy in my book. And there we go. But I have experienced the PlayStation 4 a lot, and I have experienced the Wii U a lot. And I can report back that I find them both fantastic consoles in their own right. And, you know, there's games on both that you're not going to play on anything else. You know. So to have them two alongside each other for a modern game, I think is perfect. And if you're a Microsoft fan, to have the Xbox One alongside the Wii U, again, fine, perfect. Why not? Why do you have to differentiate between, you know, the companies? Who cares? But on a sales perspective, going back, the PS4 is straight ahead of them. Of both of them. And even if you combine the sales of the Wii U and the Xbox One, you still don't get the total sales of the PlayStation 4. You know? I mean, that would equate to 28.4 million or something like that between the Wii U and the Xbox One. So, given I think it's down to the fact that Sony were the only ones that focused it for gamers. They didn't piss around with gimmicks. They didn't screw up their opening marketing campaigns, which Microsoft and Nintendo both did. Let's not beat around the bush here. Let's not argue about that. They both did, and it is factual that they both did that in different ways. I mean, Microsoft's price point was initially too high. They said it had to come with a Kinect, and they had to, you know, it was going to have DRS, and then it would have to have always be online, and all this rubbish that came out of it when it was released. And of course, all this is now being flip-flopped and reversed. And, you know, the Xbox One now is what everyone wanted it to be in the first place. It's more centred as a gaming machine. They've binned the Kinect, they've dropped the price, and lo and behold, it's selling. The Wii U, well, you know, people, I think it was Adam Koralek says about this. I mean, he won't mind me mentioning him. He goes on about the Wii U would do better without the gamepad, and I always argue that you can't. Look, the Wii U is integral with the console and the gamepad are one and the same. They work as a symbiont unit. So to say that you can't just get rid of the gamepad, you wouldn't. There's so many things you wouldn't be able to do, and so many games you wouldn't be able to play without the gamepad and the gamepad's interface. So it's integral to the system. So you can't just say, "Oh, get rid of the £90 gamepad and drop the price." It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work like that. Yes, you could do, say, software patches to say that it would function more like an on-screen function, say, from something like the Wii, with the Wiimotes. But then you just turn it into, all you're doing then is just turning it into a higher-powered Wii. So pointless for me. So gamepad's got to stay with it. They can drop the price, and I'm pretty sure they will drop the price, and it will pick up a few more sales in its fledgling in its last year, especially when the likes of Star Fox Zero and Zelda U come out, and you know there's still good titles on the way for the Wii U, but it's never going to be a massive success. And you know, it is what it is. Who cares? It's a great console, and I still love it, and I think it's my favourite console at the moment, even over the PlayStation 4. But yeah. Is it over? Has Sony won this hands down? Have they dropped the nuke? Have they won it? Will the Xbox One catch up with it in time? How many years have we got left of this? Probably what, three more years of the PS4 and the Xbox One being around before when the next step, whatever that be. I think they've already done it, and I think they are really going to put the hammer down when Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out. You're going to see a spike in PS4 sales again. I'm not familiar with what titles are due for the Xbox One to spike its sales so much. There's probably a few coming out that are going to be a lot of interest to a lot of people, but I can't imagine them being more stronger and having more of an impact than the remake of Final Fantasy VII, which is, you know, most gamers just lose their load over. You know, Fallout 4, for instance. 3 million copies so far have been sold on the PS4 and 1.7 on the Xbox One. It kind of reflects, it's half, isn't it? So it kind of reflects the console figures itself, you know. So I just think it's done. I think there has been no war this time. It's Sony had it from the moment they released the 4, and it's going to be like that. It's not a fanboy thing. I think it's an interesting fact that that's happened this time around, considering, you know, the Xbox 360 was eventually more successful than the PS3, so they've certainly done over Microsoft this time, when Microsoft done them over in the previous gen. But that was when Nintendo dominated with the Wii. It's an interesting. I'd like to know your thoughts on it. Stick them in the comments. Why not? If you're watching this of a Christmas evening and you're hungover, think, "Bug, you're talking shit." You know, if you want to do that, it'd be great to hear what you have to think about it. But yeah, I think the war. There was never a war. There was never a console war this time, which is a kind of shame, really, because it's kind of fun to see it. I don't like obviously the fanboys' insults. I mean, all that's for me, but kind of the PS4 kind of wrapped it up in the first 6 months, didn't it? And I don't think it's ever going to look back. And I think that's it. It's done it, and it's 2 years in. It's done it. You know, by the time the 8th gen's finished, the PS4 will be triumphant. It's just an interesting thing. I'm not blowing smoke up. I'm not blowing smoke up any of the companies. I wouldn't do that. I like them for what they are. So, you know, I'm enjoying my original Xbox actually at the moment. It's really good. Anyway, that's it for me this year. I think I might get another Waffle out between Christmas and New Year. If I don't, I will bid you a fond Christmas and a Happy New Year. But I probably might have a little bit of a 5-minute waffle before then. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, thanks for all the support again, as always. If you stumbled across this and you're new, hit that button down there. Go on, you know you want to. Cheers, guys, and have a bug.